Hello and welcome to Solidworks Station. My name's Stuart, and in today's tutorial we're going to look at creating this amazing spherical spring. Things we're going to concentrate on today are things such as the revolve, the surface sweep, the split line, a little bit of sketching involved today, including 3D sketching, a little bit of smart dimensioning as well. If you experience any difficulties during this tutorial, please do get in touch. I'll be more than happy to get back to you in the comment section below this video, and hopefully we can resolve some of the issues that you might be experiencing. Best of luck with this tutorial, and let's get started. Okay, so I've got SolidWorks open. I'm going to go to File, New, and we're going to create a new part. Now I'm going to start this off in the front plane. So let's go to Front Plane, Normal to, and then in the Sketch tab, let's create a sketch. Go to Circle, and we're going to start this from our origin at 0, 0. Sketch out a circle, then Smart Dimension this up. Now I'm going to do this at 100 millimeters. If you want to change this and manipulate this value to become a bigger value or a smaller value, depending on how big or small you want the spherical spring to be, you can do. You don't have to have 100 in here. So once you've got 100 in, or whatever value you're putting in, so once you've placed in that value, you can go to Line, draw a line down from the top quadrant to the bottom quadrant, like so. Go to Trim Entities, and we're going to trim to closest, and then just click on this side of the circle, like so, and green tick. We're going to go to Features now, and we're going to Revolve Boss Base this. Okay, this is brilliant for making a sphere. Okay, so if you was doing a tennis ball, a cricket ball, or something like that, this is a great point to get started. So you could go into Features, Revolve Boss Base, and then Axis of Revolution, you're going to click on this line here. It gives us a little preview there in yellow of what our sphere is going to look like, and we're going to click on the green tick. From here, we're going to go into a front plane, and we're going to go normal to. We're going to get a sketch, and we're going to draw a line. Now it's got to be bigger than the sphere, so I'm going to draw a line down here. I'm going to say, just press the escape key there. I'm going to click on this line, hold down control and click on this origin point. I'm just going to say midpoint. I want the middle of that line to be on the origin. I'm going to go to Smart Dimension now and Smart Dimension this up. As long as it's bigger than the sphere, that's fine. So I'm going to put in 120. And we can close that sketch. Let's go back into our front plane and sketch. Let's get a line. And we're going to draw a line now from this bottom point. We're going to track it across. I've not left clicked just yet. And left click across. And we're going to produce a horizontal line here. Now, I'm going to give a dimension to this from here to here. I would like this to be, let's go with 15 millimeters. Okay. I also want this line here to be horizontal. Okay, we can smart dimension this up if you want. Let's go with 100 millimeters, and we've got a fully defined sketch. I'm going to come out of this sketch now, and I'm going to go to Surfaces. Now, if you've not got the Surfaces tab available, just right click and just ensure that you've got Surfaces selected here. Okay, if your screen looks like that, just right click, check Surfaces, and it will appear as a tab. Click on the Surfaces tab, and we're going to create here a swept surface. Okay, so we're going to left click on Swept Surface, and it's asking us for our sketch profile. Well, we've got that selected, sketch 3. We want a path, so we're going to click on this line as our path. We're going to go into Options, and we're going to say Profile Orientation, we want it to keep normal. However, the Profile Twist, we want to specify a twist value. Now, again, if you want to put a different value in here, you can, to make this spherical spring look a little bit different. So I'm going to use the value of, you could use 4,000. Okay, if you're interested in how many orientations that would be, you could do 4,000 here divided by 360 and then the enter key, and it's 11 and a bit, well, 11.1 recurring rotations. You could type in you want 360, then do the shift and the 8 button to get the time symbol, and then say you want 8 rotations. That comes out at a value of 2,880 degrees. So that's ways that you can calculate it. I'm just going to go with 4,000 for this one. And we're going to click on the green tick. So what we've created there is we've got a surface, which is this one here, and then we've got our body, which is this one here. So what we need to do here is create what is known as a split. Now to do that, you need to go into features. Under curves, you'll see split line. If you don't like going about it that way, you can always type in here split, and it's there. Alternatively, you can click on the eye and it'll show you whereabouts to get that from. Okay, and it's showing me it's under curves. Okay, if I wasn't in here, so let's say I was in surfaces and I typed in split and find on the eye key, it's showing me again, it's switching to the features tab and it's going and showing me that it's in curves. So let's go and pick that split line, and we want this to be on intersection. Yours might be on projection as default. Just flip it over to intersection, and what you're going to choose is you're going to choose for the first selection, which is the splitting body, you want that to be the sphere. And then for this one, okay, which is the faces or bodies to split, you're going to click inside there and you're going to choose your surface. Then we're going to click on the green tick. Okay, and you can see it's split at that particular surface. We're now going to go into sketch, and under sketch there's a little kind of like fly menu. Just choose 3D sketch. Click on the split line that you've got. So it should say split line. There we go. Click on that. Whoops. It might be easier here if we hide the this sphere. So I'm just going to right click on that, and over here I'm just going to click on it and choose to hide it, just so I can see that line a bit clearer. So I'm going to click on this line now, and I'm going to say convert entities. You can see it's bolded it up a little bit now, so it's a lot more visible, and it's converted that helix that we've kind of created, and it's converted that into its own entity, and we're going to use that in a bit in order to create our spring. Now we're also going to hide this surface, so we're going to click on this surface here, and it shows us here it's the split line, so we just left click on that and we're going to hide that as well. Okay, and there we can see what we're actually going to produce. Now from here we're going to go to surfaces, and in surfaces you'll notice you've got a sweep surface. Now if I click on this, we get two options. This came into SolidWorks around 2015, I think. Back in 2014 and earlier than that, what you had to do was create your own plane, and from that plane you would draw a circle, and then you would say, right, I want to follow this path using this circle as my profile. But what you can do now is you can actually go to circular profile, click on the path that you want to make a circular profile from. Now obviously you're getting a different look here with a 10mm one. I'm going to put this in at something like 3 perhaps. Okay, you could use 5mm. If you're going to use something quite large, okay, SolidWorks will probably hang, and it will run into difficulties producing what you've asked for if this value is too big. Okay, so I'm going to put in 3. Okay, leave merge tangent faces, don't be ticking this. Okay, leave this unticked for now, and yeah, we don't need to put any zebra stripes on this or anything like that to check that the surface is how we want it to be. Okay, you can leave all these unchecked, and that's ready to go. So green tick. Now from here, if you wanted to, you could go and change the appearance of this. So you could go into appearances, scenes and decals. Let's use a green high gloss plastic on this. So we just grab that. I've got my left mouse button held down and I'm just going to drop it onto that part and choose body, like so. Then from here I'm going to do Control 7 on my keyboard just to get an isometric view of that. I'm going to go into my appearances, scenes and decals over here in the Dim Expert, and I'm going to change the scene a little bit. So I'm going to add a camera to this. So I'm going to right click on camera and add camera, and you can see my camera over here, and this is the view that I'm seeing. Okay, my camera is over here. If I move on the blue arrow, I will go closer towards my object. Okay, I'm going to give it a little bit of height, like so. You can play around with other settings as well on here. There's lots to choose from, and I'm going to tick that as my camera. Then from here, I'm going to go to Render Tools and Final Render. I'm just going to pause the video there, and I'll come back to you with the final render of this amazing spherical spring. And you can see the final render of that amazing spherical spring just finishing off there in the background. I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope it's been a beneficial tutorial for you. If you've run into any difficulties building that, just get in touch with myself at Solidworks Station. Drop me a comment in the comment section below and I'll be more than happy to invest time with you in order to rectify any of the issues that you're experiencing. Thank you very much for listening, and please join me again for another Solidworks Station video tutorial where hopefully you'll learn some new things. Thank you and goodbye.